The Pixel People Pod. Zap, 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 it's on. Rewind the future fraud. The Pixel People Pod.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Pixel People Podcast. As always, we have me, Greg. Say hello, Jen.
Hello, Jan.
Chris.
Hey, I'm coming remote from the Double Deuce, having a beer while
Right
we
on.
do this.
Right on.
Double
Don't
Deuce
get in a
tonight.
fight.
Yeah,
You'll be escorted out.
Oh,
exactly.
hey, I'm going to be nice until it's time not to be nice.
Yeah. Tell Jeff Healy I said, what up?
He's up here getting ready to go on stage.
Have you ever seen his wife?
No, he ain't either.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, before we get to the movie, as always, we have Jan's Gnarly News.
Here we go. Jan's Gnarly News. Jan's Gnarly News.
Kick our ass with that news, Jan.
Well, it's going to be my way or the highway. Your
Lots
June,
of highway.
your June 1st, 1980 something, Jan's Gnarly News. June 1st, 1980, cable news network, better known as CNN, made its debut.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Ted.
That's what you talked about with Ted. I still don't think that necessarily was a great advancement, 24-hour news now when you look back on it. But back then, it was a great thing. So,
Now it can't be avoided.
yes.
It's everywhere.
Oh, God. You can't get away from it.
Born June 1st.
Big brother.
Yeah.
What?
He said big brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Born June 1st, 1981, Amy Schumer. Are y'all Amy Schumer fans?
No.
I really liked her, and she was funny back in the day. But she's one of these comedians who, at some point, took themselves way too serious, and then all the stuff that made her funny, she turned against, and it's like that's not cool, you know.
Yeah.
I watched that movie she did with Bill Hader.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was actually an entertaining movie, but
Well,
like you said,
I've just-
she's just
Because Bill Hader is awesome.
Let me
Maybe
yeah,
he
he's
carried
awesome.
it.
I
let
agree.
me tell you what. Yeah, he's
He's my favorite.
Bill Hader's hilarious. But here's the thing, and I'll clean it up a little bit. So the thing that annoys me about her is she used to come out and tell all these stories about her being this party girl and sleeping around, all this stuff, and she was on Opie and Anthony all the time back when I listened to him, and she would tell these stories, and they were real stories. I mean, she was a wild child. And then she even, like, her stand-up's all about that, and sleeping around and all this stuff, and being a party girl. Then she puts out this movie with Bill Hader where she's like a slut in it, okay? I mean, it's like, that's the character. So a DJ asked her one time, what's it like being a slut or something? I don't think that's the words you used, but however it was, he asked her about her sleeping around, and she went off like, how dare you ask me that? And then all of a sudden tried to change her whole gimmick, and it's like, this is what you were. You can change, but don't, it'd be like Sam Kinison doing all the stuff he did, and then all of a sudden he turns around and he's 100% clean and he disavows. He becomes like this pro-religious preacher and all that stuff and denies ever being funny about anything with a cuss word. It's like, you can change, but don't deny what you once were.
That's the thing. We went to the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, I don't know, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and then Nikki Glazer was there
Yeah.
performing. And I think she's beautiful. She's got some funny stuff, but it was all sex stuff. I don't want to hear a guy talking about it the whole time. I really don't want to hear a woman talking like a dude up there about her sexual exploits and her vagina and everything. I don't want to hear it. I mean, it's just not funny to me.
But
Well, there goes the rest of my news tonight.
let me add though, she hasn't run from that though. She's still, yeah. She didn't
I
like all of
like
a sudden
her.
change
She's-
and be like, "Hi." It's going on right now. I'm gonna leave this in because I've got a bone to pick. They did that Kevin Hart roast the other week, and
Oh, yeah.
it was hilarious,
Which was
but-
funny, yeah.
Yes, Big J Okerson, who I listen to on the Bonfire every day on Sirius, funny comedian. He's a great roast kind of comedian. He got up there and he used to do the black circuit. That's how he broke in, the black comic circuit. That's him and Kevin Hart broke in together. Like they've done stuff. Well, he got up there and didn't do anything race related. He was just talking about, he did a great set. Somehow D.L. Hughley, the week after that, tied him and Tony Hinchcliffe and Shane Gillis in, saying they're all racist
I
and all
saw
this
him.
stuff, which
Yeah.
they're not.
But D.L. Hughley
Yeah.
is trying so hard to grasp to
Yeah.
whatever relativity he can have. He's irrelevant now because he's just not funny
Well,
anymore.
Big J on the bonfire this week was going off about it. He goes, I don't care if people want to pick apart my comedy. He said, but all of a sudden now I'm the face on this stuff going Nazi comedian. First off, Jay's a Jew. But he was like, I didn't do any race stuff in my act. He said, and he's painting me in this stuff. So he goes, Dio so wants to be relevant now. And he's one of the comedians that turn their back when they get a certain level. So they started finding interviews that he was giving where he's slamming Okerson and talking about how I would never do this, or I would never single out a race, I would never do this. And they literally went through and found all his comedy stuff from the Kings of Comedy tour. And everything he said, I would never do that. They played a clip of him doing it when he was trying to get up in comedy. So they decimated him. And I'm like, yeah, there should not be rules in comedy, people.
Yeah,
there should
we
not.
went to Vegas when I worked for a company, and it was a big, like, the top salespeople kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they had a stand-up comic there, and the first one I went to, the first year I went to, D.L. Hughley did a 45-minute set, and it was pretty funny. It wasn't directed at any race, or it was just him telling stories and stuff. And I remember thinking that was pretty funny, but now he's just like that old man on his front porch,
Yeah.
get off my lawn.
Yeah.
He doesn't like what you might as well stick to what brought you to the party. Don't give it up. I mean,
it's just the same. To take this back, twist it back to the 80s where Jan gets the next story. Bill Cosby dressing down Eddie Murphy, all these comedians. You don't need to be dirty. You need to be clean. You got to set an example for the children, blah, blah, blah. The whole time he was roofing women and all that stuff,
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah. And he was doing pudding pops.
Yeah, so don't.
How'd those turn out?
Yeah, so if you glass houses, don't throw them rocks, buddy.
Yeah, how those pudding
I have
pops?
bought the ingredients for Jell-O pudding pops.
Yeah.
Chocolate one,
You've not done it yet?
but I have not made them yet.
We ain't had time yet.
We
Oh my
haven't
god!
had
Let's
time.
pause the podcast. Go make them.
Okay, we'll be back.
Yep.
All right, we're back. Man, them things were awesome. All right, Jan, next story.
All right. Also born June 1st, 1981, Brandy Carlisle.
Brandy Carlisle? Okay, that's
Yep.
a good 80s. Yeah.
She got that good folk rock, alternative country, Americana, classic rock
Yeah.
vibe going. I did not realize this until I was looking all this up, has 11 Grammy Awards and 2 Emmy Awards.
Really?
Yep.
What's her big song? Okay, never mind. Wasn't she an 80s singer, though? I mean, I'm going to have to edit this out. Cause maybe
She was
I'm thinking-
born in 81.
She was born in the 80s. She was in 90s, early 2000s.
Well, who's the brand? I was thinking, never mind. I'm cutting
You're thinking
that out.
about you're thinking Belinda
Carlisle.
Yeah,
Carlisle.
Belinda Carlisle. Okay, yeah. I'll cut all that out.
No,
Yeah.
you left in my homeliness. So you leave this in.
No,
That was funny, though.
Yeah.
June 1st, 1982, Survivor released their third album, Eye of the Tiger, which had their iconic title track, Eye of the Tiger.
We that was actually on a short list when we do our album talk episode in a couple weeks. We've whittled it down to 2 albums, but I put together a list of seminal albums that came out the month of June in the decade of the 80s, and that was one of them. But I had to, there's some bigger hitters in there, and they were like that, 7th hitter that, has a good batting average, but there's a lot of power hitters up above it, so I had to take that one out. But that's a good album, though.
Eye of the Tiger was the number 2 song for 1982.
Yeah,
That's
I believe
huge.
it. That song, yeah.
The Eye of
number
the
2
Tiger
song?
song was the number 2
Right.
song for
What
1982.
was the number one?
Do not know. I don't know. I just looked
Find
up
out,
stuff
Chris.
related to Eye of the
Come on, Gnarly
Tiger.
News.
Look up what Chris.
What year was that?
83.
82.
82, sorry. That is that song still holds up, though. If you can't get fired up for that song.
The album peaked at number 2 on the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
Great album.
Oh, we talked about this one the other week. It was number 3 was I Love Rock and Roll. Number 4 was Ebony and Ivory. 5 was Centerfold by Jay Giles.
Ooh.
And then number 2 was Eye of the Tiger. And number 1 was Physical by Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, nice.
Will one of those make our first annual Pixel People Pod 80 Song Hall of Fame? You'll find out
don't know.
in July.
So will we.
Yes.
June 1st, 1983, the Talking Heads released the album Speaking in Tongues.
I like the Talking Heads, but I'm more of I like their greatest hits and some stuff. I'm not a deep dive Talking Heads person.
That album produced their sole U.S. top 10 hit, Burning Down the House.
That song is a possible candidate for a Hall of Fame just because it's in Revenge of the Nerds. That's what
This
they're.
is a good song, though.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's definitely their best song for sure. So
All right, released June 1st, 1984, Streets of Fire. Did you guys see that one?
Streets of Fire.
Streets of Fire. It starred Diane Lane, Rick Moranis, Amy
What?
Madigan,
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis and Diane Lane.
and Willem Dafoe.
The sex scene nobody asked
That
for.
is a oh gross. That is a unique cast. Right
It
Yeah,
is,
that's a
and
really-
it makes me want to look this movie up and watch
All
it.
right, well,
I'm
we'll put
looking it
on
up
our
right
list.
now.
Yeah.
Streets of Fire.
Yeah, mark it. We got to put a now we've renovated the podcast studio, and it has a dedicated area now, a dedicated special podcast table set up and everything. And I'll put pictures later. But we need to hang a like a what do you call it, a whiteboard, and just start writing these movies down. And
We
just
have one of
and,
those.
Yeah, we need to find a whiteboard, put it up behind me right here, and every time you talk about
You
these
know-
movies, write it down, and we'll exit out after we watch it.
You should put a board up in Light Bright and do it in Light Bright.
Oh, that
We
would be
have one
cool.
of those.
Yeah, we got one of those too, but I don't think you can get them that big. That would be cool though.
Buy a couple and put them together.
Yeah. All right.
All right, June
Bill
1st.
Paxton was in that movie too.
Really? Every
Yeah.
80s person's in that then.
I'm looking at the cast right now.
Okay. What is it? Where are you looking at it at on IMDb?
Yeah.
What rating does it get as far as
Oh,
like
this. Hold
One
on.
through- one
I'm
through
just
10.
looking at Google. Hold on, real quick.
Something I looked up on it said it blends stylized 1950s inspired visuals with 1980s music and action. So it's 50s looking stuff with
6.7
80s
out of
music.
10.
okay, 6.7 out of 10 for 80s movies, pretty good. Because you get a lot of pretentious douchers that like to go in there and vote stuff down. So for an 80s movie to get that wasn't like a Back to the Future style movie. That's pretty good. I'll take
Did
it.
you want to hear what the plot of it is?
Yeah, let's hear it.
A mercenary is hired to rescue his ex-girlfriend, a singer who has been kidnapped by a motorcycle gang.
Please
Oh,
tell
wow.
me. Please tell me Rick Moranis is the mercenary.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you tell who's what in it, but still, that's what the plot is.
You know what he says when he comes up on the two kidnappers? Say goodbye to your two best friends, and I don't mean your pals in the Winnebago. First person that posts under this episode on Facebook and tells me what movie that's from, I'll send him a Pixel People Pod keychain.
Ooh, that's a good prize.
No
Nobody mentioned
Googling.
it. Yeah,
no
no Googling.
Googling.
All right.
We'll be able to tell if you
Yeah.
Googled.
Oh, yeah.
We have spies.
Yes.
All right, June 1st, 1985, Aha released the album Hunting High and Low.
I have that one song.
I saw. Is that song on it?
Take on Me.
Okay.
Mhm.
I saw a thing on Twitter today that made me almost start arguing on Twitter, and I realized that's a fool's errand, so I didn't do it. And I know it's just engagement farming, but somebody posted, "Take on Me is a crap song, and the only reason people like it is because the video made people like it." And I'm like, no, that's a good song. That video could have never. I never saw that video because I didn't have MTV when I was a kid. You know, that was a great song. How can you knock that song? That's a great 80s song.
That is a great video,
Yeah.
though. But the song's great too. But the video was like so far ahead of its time.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
If you-
Was that the
to
one where they
watch
went
that back in the
swooshing
day.
around?
Yeah, and they get pulled into
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
if you go back and look at our episode on collecting, that's the artwork for that. Is we're in the Aha video. So
Yep.
yep.
Aha.
I asked Al, our art engineer, hey, come up with some artwork for this, and he did. It was very cool.
I mean, he's even making some new songs like Fat and some other things too. Al's doing it good.
Yeah, yeah, it's different Al.
Different Al.
Yeah,
Different Al.
I can't
okay,
afford
sorry.
Weird Al. We got just Al.
Oh, sorry.
Our Al doesn't have a last name,
Yeah, he's just Al.
like Alf.
Yeah, without the F. It was a very clean podcast. No F's given.
Right. June
If we do,
1st,
we added them.
Yeah, yeah.
June 1st, 1987, George Michael released the single I Want Your Sex.
It's the one that always got Chris thrown out of his house as a teenager.
That's right.
That was-
That whole album is amazing. There's not a bad song on that entire album. It's such a great album.
Yep, that's how I know that. Okay, Chris, you go to a lot of rock concerts, more than me and Jan do, by far.
Right.
Over the years I've known you, I know you like your rocking like that, but when you told me that you're the biggest George Michael fan and all that stuff, and I know you know all that stuff, that's when I realized for sure you weren't just a rock fan, you were a music fan, because
Oh yeah.
you know, all Incubus is like your band and Aerosmith's your band, but like you worship George Michael and Wham too. It's like that shows you just like good music.
Yeah,
I
I
get
just-
props for that.
Thanks. That
Jan-
was like last we did the Run DMC. Was that two
Yeah.
podcasts ago?
Yeah.
And I told you it wasn't really my thing, but back in the time when y'all were like with the Run DMC, I was listening to the George Michael and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like the Thriller album.
Yeah.
You know, all those. I have such a broad, you know, scope of music, but like George is my all-time favorite.
Well, look,
There's
Jan's the
nothing
same way.
outs-
Jan listens to all kinds of musics and genres and all that stuff, and she'll give stuff a chance, and I don't. I like close-minded. I like what I like, and that's it. So both of you definitely have wider musical tastes than I do, but my music's better, but y'all's is wider. So
I didn't
I'll
realize.
put my album sales against your album sales. We'll say.
Chris, did you realize this song, because of the whole AIDS pandemic and all that good stuff, that the BBC restricted airplay to after 9 p.m. and even
No, I didn't know that.
even MTV banished it to like late night showings because they thought
I
it
can see
promoted
why.
promiscuity.
I mean, the video is, kind of for that time is risque. Now it would be just like PG now. Back then it was like PG-13 to the extreme.
Right.
So, yeah, it was definitely ahead of its time as far as you visually and things like that. And just, you put a song on an album, I Want Your Sex. People are like, what in the world?
yeah,
I remember my aunt and uncle, I was visiting them in Arizona, and I wanted to get that album Faith. That was when it had first come out. And then my uncle or my aunt, one went to the store and came back and said, I'm not buying you that. We thought it was a Christian album because it said Faith. They just got a song because I Want Your Sex on it. We're not buying you that. So I had to wait till I got back from visiting them to buy it. But I bought it as soon as I got back.
yeah.
June 1st, 1988, the Fabulous Thunderbirds album Tough Enough was certified platinum by the RIAA.
I'm not a big fan of the Fabulous Thunderbirds, but it's Jimmy Vaughn, big brother of Stevie Ray, the greatest guitarist that ever lived. So
Agreed.
I have to like it. I
like that song, but I wouldn't sit down and listen to a whole album of theirs.
I got tired of that song. About the main time you hear "Are you tough enough?" It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not tough
As soon
enough
as
to
you
take
said
this
it,
song again.
I was singing that in my head.
My only problem with Jimmy Vaughn, he's a great guitar player too, but he's one of those like Mark Knopfler and Lindsey Buckingham then that play finger pick style and doesn't use a pick. And he's done tributes to his brother, but it's like pick up a pick for that because it don't sound right. When you're playing that Texas blues that Stevie played with your fingers on electric guitar, it does not sound right. And every time they've done it or something, here to tribute Stevie Ray is Jimmy, I'm like, it's just not going to sound right. It's not. It'd be like, somebody coming up and here to tribute Eddie Van Halen is Willie Nelson with his acoustic guitar. It's like, no,
I bet they sound the same singing.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. No, Willie can sing way. You mean Jimmy? Or,
Oh, yeah.
Willie can sing way better than Eddie. 'cause
Willie and Eddie.
Eddie sung one song for Van Halen. It's the worst song ever put on a Van Halen record. How many say I? And it's bad.
Well, like all lead guitar players want to be lead singers.
Yeah, but some of them
At
can.
some time.
Some of them can.
Yeah.
Released June 1st, 1989, Cher's single If I Could Turn Back Time.
That was a huge
God, I
comeback.
wish you could turn that channel.
That was
It's a great
She on
song.
that ship.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
That was a good song
She's
when
on
it
that
came out.
ship.
Yeah, she was still looking hot
And
back
all
then,
the
too.
sailors.
Yeah,
She just turned 80, didn't she?
yeah. So what year was that when that video came out?
89.
So 35.
40
she
years
was in
ago,
her mid
Bacon.
50s then. So, but it's funny to think about that now. She was in her mid 50s, and they were like, "Look, she's ageless. Look," and she come back for then, and everybody's like, "She's an old broad, but she looks hot." And it's 55 now. That's not that now. You would
I'm
look at somebody like
54.
that, they'd be 75, and they'd be like, "Look, she, it's not." The age difference has changed so much in the last 30 years.
That was her 19th studio album.
I believe it. She's been doing it for a long time.
Sonny and Bono, Bono and her. Yeah.
She was, gosh, she was like 17 when she got with Sonny, I think. She was really young.
There you have Jan's Gnarly News.
Thank you, Jan, for that, as always, gnarly news. This podcast makes you feel good. It doesn't cause pain, but even if it did, it wouldn't matter because pain don't hurt. In the words of Dalton. If you've not figured it out yet, this week's episode is on the monumental 1989 movie Roadhouse.
Oh my God, Roadhouse!
What was that?
Roadhouse.
When we were looking for something for this episode for Movie Talk, there were several movies that were on the short list, and I was pulling them up, and then I look at it, I can look up, search the internet, and put like what movies came out the month of this, whatever month it is, throughout the decade in 1980s, and it'll usually list. That's what I do with the albums and stuff when we're whittling that down. But when I was doing this, I forget there was a couple, but then right there, sneaking at the end, 1989 Roadhouse. I'm like, we don't need to discuss this, because I knew everybody would agree this is a great movie to talk about.
I love this movie.
Everybody loves this movie, and there's a reason it was played on TNT and TBS like weekly for 30-something years. And I don't have DirecTV more, but I imagine it still gets played a lot. Although, let me point this out before I get into it. I suffered something today that almost shook me to the core, and I need to share it. I don't know how to say this without tearing up a little bit, but I go to IMDb to look up some information on this movie, and I type in Roadhouse, and it pulls up
A remake.
the remake.
Yeah.
Damn, that hurts, doesn't it?
I ran
I
into
have to
that
scroll
too.
down like 6 movies, like Roadhouse Blue, Roadhouse something, to get to this
Yep.
Roadhouse. Nobody's looking up that remake. If somebody types in Roadhouse, they're looking for this movie.
I agree.
Chris, did you watch that one, the remake?
I watched the new one.
I knew
It
you
wasn't a
would.
remake, so to speak, but it was on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched it. It's entertaining. I mean, it's okay for what it was.
But it's not this.
Yeah, you're right. You're putting in Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze should be at the top of the list.
Right.
Shouldn't be what's his name? That whoever I can't think of his name off the top of my
It'd
head.
be like
but-
I'm typing in Star Wars, that pulls up Solo, that movie. It's like, no, nobody's looking for the Solo
Well,
movie.
they would pull that up by saying the worst Star Wars movie of all time. Solo.
Yeah, Solo, yeah.
It'd be first.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be crazy, but, So that was, I'd already made me want to go, cross kick somebody in the face.
Roadhouse.
When I saw that, it angered
Rip
me.
their throat out.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, he's been known to do that.
yeah.
Really?
So this movie, it hit the theaters on May 19th in 1989, but it really didn't do that great in the theaters. It's one of those, there's a reason they call it a cult classic, because it wasn't a classic at first. It opened at number 2 behind See No Evil, Hear No Evil. And the summer crowd, that's back when movies still lasted in the theaters a long time. So Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade and Batman were up against it that summer, and it suffered. The production budget was $15 million. It did just under $6 million its first weekend, which now, if you think about that, if you do $6 million first weekend, they'll pull you out by the end of the second weekend if that's all you're doing. But it lasted long enough to pull in at the domestic box office $30 million. So it doubled its production budget, but, as we've talked about and everybody knows about movies, they say take your production budget and double it, and that's what it costs to make the movie, because then they got to almost double it for the promotion and all that stuff. And so it broke even, basically. It won all these Razzies that year. It swept like everything, including worst picture, worst actor for Swayze. Just when you think, okay, well, that movie was a bomb, thanks to Ted Turner. They threw it on TNT and TBS, and on home video and basic cable, it started, accumulating views. This was an interesting stat I found out. Between VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and streaming rights, the film has gone on to gross over $203 million in lifetime revenue. So it has definitely been a profitable movie. I mean, I have it on Blu-ray. I saw that movie so many times. It was always, this one I still had DirecTV. It's on every other weekend. You'd stop and watch it. But then one time I was in a Dollar General, and there's their Blu-ray section, and there's Roadhouse, and I bought it because I'm like, I gotta have this one. You gotta have this. You never know when to want to slap Roadhouse in and watch it. I even have a Double Deuce shirt.
Yes, you do.
Nice. Hey, real quick, how much did you say that it made at the box office wise?
The domestic box office gross that summer when it ended was $30 million.
Because I guess I didn't hear the domestic part, because on Wikipedia it says I guess worldwide was 61 box office.
Well, it's just domestic, so it broke even.
I didn't hear that part.
domestically. Yeah.
Sorry.
But,
Pay attention, Chris.
I was trying to find Roadhouse, but I couldn't find it. So
So yeah, right off the bat, that shows this. That is something that I really didn't think about till we got to talking about this, but there's a lot of movies that are never going to become cult classics now because streaming and cable. I mean, streaming is killing cable and satellite, because you would be forced to watch some movie just because it's the only thing on. And I've learned a lot of movies like this Roadhouse.
That's why video killed the radio star.
Yeah, and streaming killed the video star now.
Your Blockbuster and all those other places.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still Tubi, the app that Jan and I use the most is the one we don't pay for. Is Tubi, and we see all these crazy movies that might have been on TNT on a Saturday evening or something. But I don't think you'll get a cult classic like this anymore to pop up thanks to the streaming now.
Well, Well, I was telling you, I tried to stream this movie to watch it again before we did the podcast, and it's not on any streaming service. Nothing. It's not on Tubi. It's not on Amazon. None of that. It's on one of like MGM Plus or something like that. But
it's hilarious
nobody has
to me
that.
how certain movies you can't find streaming anywhere, and they're big movies, and you can't find them streaming. I guess in a way they expect people that want to see it'll pay the $3 to rent it, you know. But then you'll find movies that nobody wants to see, and they're all over Tubi and the other streaming things, you know. So
Yeah.
who knows? We don't. You know, this is a movie discussion, not a review, but I'll still give the breakdown of what this movie's about in case somebody hasn't seen it.
Spoilers for those listening.
Roadhouse starred Patrick Swayze as Dalton, a legendary cooler, which is the word for the elite bouncer who calms the crowd and cleans up the joint. With a degree in philosophy from NYU, a mysterious past, and a tendency to rip out throats when pushed too far. So,
And a Mercedes.
right, yeah. The screenwriter, David Lee Henry, actually came up with this idea during a real-life road trip he had. He was in Dalton, Georgia, which is how he got the name for Dalton. He was in Dalton, Georgia, and he stopped at a rowdy bar and wondered what it would take to actually fix a place that wild. And so he named Dalton after that town. He decided he would make him a modern-day Western gunslinger who used his fists instead of a revolver and paired his martial arts skills with a Zen-like pacifism. The producer was Joel Silver, who did Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, so he's the one that picked that script and said, oh, you know, this is going to be a great movie. So that's how it came about. And, you know, Patrick Swayze, if you think about it back then, he'd already done Dirty Dancing, but I don't think he had done Ghost yet. He was starting to get well known, but, you know, from his 80s, he was in a lot of that Brat Pack, sort of outside of it. But
And his several Saturday Night Live skits. Don't forget those.
oh, God. Yeah, look, people...
Those are the best.
I'm going to do y'all a favor, people. Go to YouTube when this is over and look up Patrick Swayze Saturday Night Live. And the first thing's going to pop up is the Chippendale sketch with Chris Farley, which is a lot of people say is the greatest sketch he ever did on there. But he did other sketches on that episode that are just... The White Trash Bed and Breakfast is one of my favorite skits they ever did on Saturday Night Live. There's a lot of great stuff he did on Saturday Night Live. So look him up. Just to throw this in here real fast before you get some more discussion. The original... Jan, you're like this. I don't know if you saw this when you were looking up some stuff on it, but the movie's original tagline referenced his success in Dirty Dancing. The success was "The dancing's over." So you know, I think it's funny he let him tie that in. You know, so
Didn't he dance with Kelly Lynch a little bit?
oh yeah, but you know, he did a lot more fighting than dancing.
He did a lot more with Kelly Lynch than just dance.
Yeah, which we'll get to that. I've got a great story here that I'm sure both of us, all three of us know, but I'll tell it for the rest of you people later on. But Jan, what do you got some thoughts on
Well,
this?
I mean, while we're talking about Kelly Lynch, what a great addition to this movie's cast. I mean, here you have all these intense fight scenes, and you think it's going to be this, you know, manly movie and all this stuff going on in the bar, and then in walks Kelly Lynch as Doc. Nice touch to this movie.
Did you see the trivia on how she got that role?
No, I did not.
Chris, do you know this?
I do not.
She brought such charm.
Well,
She had nice charm.
yeah. She almost didn't because originally the role of Dr. Elizabeth Doc Clay was given to Annette Bening. She was supposed to be.
Oh.
Yes, I know. It said, though, early in production, they realized that they had no romantic spark. Her and Patrick Swayze were not hitting it off. Kelly Lynch was brought in as a last-minute replacement. And she said that's literally all it was that she didn't do a bad job. Nobody, you know, had anything bad to say, just like it was just not clicking like it did between him and Lynch. It would not have been as good a movie with Annette Bening in that role.
No,
I
there's
can't.
no way.
Annette Bening is a pretty woman, and you know, but
Yeah,
I just could
but
never see
she's
her
no
as
Kelly
the,
Lynch in that movie.
yeah. Could not see her in that role at all.
Also, I mean, Sam Elliott's character was a perfect fit.
I think Sam Elliott's. Well, I did read that he almost didn't do this movie because he's afraid that his character in that movie was too much like his character in the movie Mask, and it is. He was like a biker roughneck, you know. But nobody's going to get those two movies mixed, you know.
No,
He's been playing the same role for 50
Yeah,
years.
he has,
Yeah.
and this movie probably cemented that, you know. Although he was so good in Tombstone, but yeah,
Yeah,
same
his
thing, just
best
a real
movie.
gunslinger this time. I will say though, going back to the Annette Bening thing though, it just hit me as we were saying that. I could see her though in the movie Ghost with him though. I could see her playing that character, but not in this movie. She was.
I mean, Demi Moore has to be in Ghost.
Right,
I mean,
she
Yeah.
does, but
I
I'm
mean,
saying though,
that's iconic.
She would fit more in that role than she would in this movie.
yeah.
Chris, give us some thoughts you have on this movie before I get some more stats here.
Well, I just remember watching this movie whenever it came out, and was just like, that's back in the day when it was like those kind of movies. Like you had Rocky movies, you had this, you had like Commando, you had all these fighting kind of movies that really geared into that particular group of consumer, which I fell into because I was a teenage kid.
Yeah,
And it's like you look at that and like you said, you see Kelly Lynch, you see this beautiful woman come on stage, you're going to be hooked there. I mean, it's just like, oh, it'd be so cool to be at work at a bar. I'm going to get a bar when I'm older, and we're going to have like this. I mean, it was extremely cheesy at times, but it was extremely entertaining the entire time.
Yeah, it was. It snuck in last minute '89, but this is a true '80s movie.
It brought us some
Oh,
great
yeah.
quots too.
Oh yeah, great. Oh Lord, besides the pain don't hurt, which is my favorite line from the whole thing.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
A couple of them I can't use, but you got some quotes, Jan, that you like?
Take the biggest guy in the world, shatter his knee, and he'll drop like a stone.
I've said that a million times too, and I got it from that movie talking about fighting somebody. I said I'll just kick him right in the knee. That'll put him down. Yeah.
Give me the biggest guy in the world. You smash his knee, he'll drop like a stone.
What's your favorite quote from that movie, Chris? You got one?
Well, one I'm looking at the quotes now. One that I like from that. I mean, there's a couple like the when he tells them basically, I'll tell you when it's not time to not be nice. That one, but
Yeah.
talking about Sam Elliott a minute ago, and he's talking about the doctor, and he goes, "That gal's got entirely too many brains to have an ass like that." I mean,
Yeah, true.
but it was just like he told him, like Dalton would say to him, he's like, "Okay, you be nice until I tell you it's time to not be nice."
Okay.
And they go, "How do we know when that is?" He basically said, "I'll tell you when it is."
I've got a good thing on that. That lecture to his staff, his 3 simple rules were: 1, never underestimate your opponent; 2, take it outside; and 3, be nice until it's time, like you say, not to be nice. Multiple police departments have said over the years that they've used that clip in training seminars to teach officers de-escalation tactics. And said a lot of them, they realized trainees used to get bored, and they would play that clip and say, this is what you have to do to, take it down a notch when stuff gets really rough. Use those lines, use that in your head. It's time, be nice till it's time not to be. And
Yeah,
I see
I
that,
think
that would be a great way to just be nice.
Yeah. I think my
WWPSD, what would Patrick
One of my
Swayze do?
favorite quotes that come from that in that same scene when he's talking, and I'll clean it up for our listeners.
I figured out how to put
It
a beep
says-
in here, by the way. So
Okay, being called a blank sucker isn't personal. No, it's just 2 nouns combined to elicit a prescribed response. What if someone calls my mom a W word? Is she? I just think that was so funny when he said
that's
that. to
that guy gets mad when he says that too.
Face
Is
just
she?
like goes from smiling to like pissed off.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'll save this toward the end. I've got a great funny thing about this, but I'll put it at the end. So the fighting stuff in this movie, I read that they intentionally, the director and producers wanted to, they made the fights are so over the top, and they made it that way because they said they wanted a Keystone Cop element where it's like just total anarchy, but it's so goofy. They didn't want it to be too serious, so it's the fights are just you watch them, you're just laughing.
Well, Billy Ray Cyrus is in this movie, and he's trying to fight him with a pool stick.
Billy Ray Cyrus ain't this movie.
That's what the guy looks like, Billy Ray Cyrus. Come on, Greg.
Yeah.
But he's the one who gets his throat ripped out. But it's just funny.
Jimmy.
The guy's like,
Jimmy.
Jimmy, this really bad guy. He's twirling the pool stick around,
Yeah.
the fight and stuff. And it's just like, I'm like, dude, it's kind of like in the Indiana Jones movie whenever
Yeah,
the guy's
he
got
shoots the
killed.
guy.
That's kind of the way I think about that scene.
Hey, Billy Ray Cyrus may not have been in the movie, but we had Terry Funk.
Yeah, Terry Funk's so good in that movie.
Oh, what a great wrestler, too, back in the day.
Are you gonna fight?
Yeah, Terry Funk became the guy that got his butt whipped in every movie.
Yeah. He's got some great lines in that movie. When do you get out here, Grandpa? Why are you insulting?
No, he calls
Yeah.
him Dad.
Yeah, when they're getting ready to fight.
Yeah. Oh, you
Yeah,
dad.
that's funny.
Yeah.
He said, none of your business, Dad.
Dad. Yeah.
But then you find out that Terry Funk is actually older
Oh,
than
yeah.
Sam Elliott.
Terry Funk is. We should do a whole podcast just on Terry Funk because he was an NWA wrestling champion like, pro wrestling champion in the 70s, which back then it was hard to be that. You had to be like great for the NWA to vote you in to be their champ, because you traveled all across the country and you had to be able to do all these styles. You had to be big enough where people believe you. And you didn't just, that's why Ric Flair was one for so long, because he could put over your local guy. So the fact that him and his brother both were NWA World Champion at some point, I think he was twice. He had that whole wrestling career, which was a Hall of Fame pro wrestling career, quit and got into Hollywood for like 7-8 years, in his 40s, and it's like, okay. And then in like 92 or something, comes back and gets into wrestling and wrestles again to his mid-70s, a whole different style. It's like that guy has a interesting life. He just couldn't get away from the wrestling. The guy could have made a good career as like a tough guy in movies, and he just wanted to get back into wrestling. So the fight between Patrick Swayze and Marshall Teague, who is Jimmy, it took him 5 days to film that fight. They kept.
Which one? The one by the river, or the one?
The
in
river one. No, the river one.
Bar. Okay.
And he was like a real fighter, that guy was, and Swayze's like, a great athlete. So that was a real fight. Like, they were really hitting each other. They didn't pull any punches a lot of times. They said, make it real, and they really went at it. And they kept shooting. When they finally finished that 5-day shoot to get that whole thing just right, they were both bruised up and beat up. And Swayze had to have 2.5 ounces of fluid drained from his knee to finish the rest of the movie, because he had just it's amazing. Go back and watch that now and realize those guys really are hitting each other in a lot of those scenes. So Sam Elliott also, in his fights on it as Wade Garrett, he joked, and this is where I'll beat myself, Chris. I'll just say the words and I'll beat him, because I like my new beat button I have here. On doing his own stunts, he says, I fucking got the shit kicked out of me for the entire film. That's his memory of the movie, is just getting beat down for the whole movie.
Well, Sam Elliott, the character that Wade Garrett says, he's out there with some guy called Mountain, or whatever his name was. He says, you want to fight, dickless? Yeah. He says, well, I'm sure ain't going to show you my dick. Yeah. I mean, it's just stupid like that. It's like this tough guy talk coming there. It's like, we're going to be the most over the top, which is a great podcast. Yeah. Listen to it. But the most over the top fighters, and they're about the size of, the average. They're not like super muscular, like these big muscle bound, whatever. They're just average guys who know how to kick ass and take names or whatever.
Well, they had larger than life personalities.
Yeah.
That's what made it.
Talking about his knee, by the way, that's why his next movie was Ghost. He picked that movie because it wasn't physically strenuous. He was offered the role of Cash in Tango and Cash and the Mike Harrigan role in Predator 2 to follow up on Roadhouse, but he turned them both down because it'd be too physical, and he took such a beating for this movie. He did Ghost to allow his body to heal. It was a good decision.
A good choice.
Yeah,
I wonder if he was still carrying his medical records with him when he went to do Ghost.
Yeah. And then he did Point Break after that. So, I mean, he went back into the action stuff after that.
Here's another thing I get to use my new beat button on, because we're talking about quotes and stuff in this movie. And here's one of my favorite quotes, but I have to beep part of it. So Jimmy, real name Marshall Teague, he's told his story for years that he took his mom to the premiere of the movie. And when the fight against Dalton happens and he says the line, I used to guys like you in prison. His mom jumped up and at the movie thing and proudly shouted, "That's my boy!" Yeah. I thought.
Yeah, I saw that quote too.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really watch the movie, but I'm looking at quotes and stuff, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I remember that scene. I remember this.
People, when we were talking about doing this movie, Chris messaged us the other day and said, I didn't watch the movie, but I've seen enough stuff where I'll be okay talking about it. And I was like, you've never seen this movie? And he's like, no, I mean, I didn't watch it the day or two before the podcast. But I was like, I started to say, because I would lose total faith in you as a child of the 80s if you'd never watched Roadhouse.
I actually saw this at the movie theater.
Really?
With my dad.
Oh, that's cool. So, Oh, man. When that girl was dancing on the table. And
oh, gosh.
Oh, that was great.
You and your dad both high-fiving during that one?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
If you're going to have a pet, keep it on a leash.
Yeah.
That's another great line.
I'd like to have her as a pet.
Okay.
She gets beat.
Yeah.
Neither of you have talked about how awesome the music was with Jeff Healey in this movie.
Oh, yeah, Jeff Healey.
But also, Patrick himself did a couple of songs.
Yeah.
And to this day, when I hear Otis Redding, These Arms of Mine, it takes me instantly to the scene in this movie.
Yeah. It don't take me to the scene, it takes me to her, but I care less about the rest of the scene. But yeah.
I mean,
what's funny is he's... Sorry, Jan.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you talk about that scene. I think about when he first met the guy that was written it out, and he's like, got no air conditioning. He goes, that's all right. He goes, it's like $25 a week or a month or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. And he's like, yeah, I think I can handle that. And I mean, it was just funny that old guy and all his buddies at the end come in to the rescue at the end. But it's just, that just tried to, I guess, make him seem more like just an average guy instead of this preppy bar guy that drives a Mercedes and had a degree from NYU or wherever it was from. I mean, it's just the way they tried to make it. And I would just always, and it's right across the river from his arch rival. It just seemed to work out perfect.
Can I talk about one thing I don't like in this movie? So,
Sure.
Kathleen Wilhoit, who plays the waitress Carrie, they found out.
Oh, yeah.
They found out when they started filming this movie that she could sing, so they incorporated it in her character and gave her that scene where they let her go up and sing.
Yeah.
I think it cut that scene out. That gets on my nerves so bad. She's all giddy and singing. It's like, no, stop. She gets on my nerves a little bit, but she's good. Her character's good, but
They could have cut that scene out and made the scene with the Otis Redding music longer.
yeah, with full frontal, that would
Yeah.
have been better. But
Yeah.
okay,
I'm thinking about that scene right now.
Yeah.
It's a good scene.
I'll think about it later. So.
I'm at the bar singing at the bar.
Oh,
What are you
okay.
talking about, Greg? Yeah, perv.
Speaking of Kelly Lynch again,
Yeah.
Let's talk about
did
it.
you know that her husband and Bill Murray are like best
Yeah.
friends?
Have you got that whole story?
No, you go ahead. I just happened to think about it.
Okay, yeah. So, and I think if you look it up, if you look her up or Bill Murray, look up Bill Murray Roadhouse. He tells the story on Letterman, I know. So she's married to screenwriter Mitch Glazer, and for decades, whenever Bill Murray or his brothers caught Roadhouse playing on cable, they immediately called him, and I've heard he's talked about they would call him like 2 a.m. Bill Murray said he'd see 1 a.m. Roadhouse is on. They would call him, and no matter what time or where they are at, just to leave him a voicemail or speak to him on the phone, perfectly go, hey, your wife is on TV having sex with Patrick Swayze against a rock wall, and then hang up on him. It said Bill Murray once famously dialed Glazer all the way from Russia just to deliver the line. So he was in Russia and saw them, and that's been a running gag for years. And that's funny, man. You know,
That's
Yeah.
gold, Jerry.
I've heard her
That's
talk
gold.
about that too. She still laughs about it too. So that's pretty good. She's got a good sense of humor about it. Oh, one last thing right here before we get into some trivia on this movie. There was one little thing I did see, and I had to put it in my notes. Despite it becoming an iconic look of the late 80s action genre, Patrick Swayze despised his screen hairstyle. He openly referred to his famous feathered flowing mullet in the film as the bane of my existence. So he hated that haircut. And it is very,
Really?
it's very 80s. The whole
But it
look-
worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
The whole look of that movie is very 80s, but
Well, yeah.
yeah.
It was from 1989.
It's 89, though. It's pushing 90s. Yeah, and I did see that Silver thought the set was too nice, so he ordered a crew to tear it up a little bit so it'd make the original Double Deuce look like a dive bar.
Yeah, it was
'Cause
gritty
yeah, it
and
was-
dangerous.
Yeah. I always like how when he comes and hires him away, and then that other bar owner like gets mad when Patrick Swayze says, "I'm leaving. Here's my notice." That guy's like, "How dare you?" You know, people just go around and steal bouncers from people. Can you imagine that being a real career now?
Yeah, I was sad. The saddest part of that movie was when old Red had his auto parts store burned down.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
caught that
Yeah.
on fire. I thought that was sad.
You know, Red's part of the Memphis Mafia, don't you?
No.
Red is a real. Him and Elvis Presley. He's part of Elvis's crew. He was like one of his best friends and sort of like one of his bodyguards.
He's
that
also the
actor?
one that said
Yeah.
that he got married to an ugly woman. Don't ever do that. It just takes the
Yeah.
energy right out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, have you seen that documentary, that Elvis documentary, that concert that came out this?
The Epic?
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
recent
saw
one.
Elvis Presley in
Yeah,
concert.
Red's sitting there with him and a bunch of scenes in it.
Well, I didn't put the two together.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
think-
him,
Did
yeah.
you see it?
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, I didn't know y'all got to watch it.
We
Yeah,
showed
was
it.
great.
My parents on Mother's Day. My mom came down and we showed it to her down
Oh.
here on this.
Yeah, she's
screen.
a huge Elvis fan.
Yeah, she loved
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they loved it. So
Such
I
a
think she
great- how
cried at
much
the end.
work you put into that.
yeah, oh yeah. But Red's in a lot of scenes there toward the end. He's in the car with him, and when they're sitting around talking with his buddies.
Oh, I didn't know that was the same guy.
Yeah, yeah. This is an interesting little stat. The garage where he keeps his Mercedes stored in the beginning of that movie is the same garage where Reggie Hammond's Porsche is stored in the movie 48 Hours. I guess it's probably on a set somewhere or something. But I don't want to live in a world where this movie is watched at least once every couple of years. So we gotta get it out and watch it here. I got the Blu-ray.
I watch it every year because it's always on. But I can't, when I wanted to watch it this time, it's
I
not
know.
on anymore.
So Brad Wesley, his character is based on a real man, and the real guy's name was Ken McElroy, and he was the town bully in Skidmore, Missouri, and he was actually gunned down in broad daylight, July 10th, 1981. And like the Wesley character, no one admitted to having witnessed seeing the actual shooter, despite dozens of witnesses being on the scene. So that's based on a true story where they just gunned him down like, I didn't see nothing. Although not one guy there said a polar bear fell on him. So, you know.
Yeah, nice old Tinker.
What a way to go.
Ben Gazzara plays a great bad guy in this movie, but he's also in one of my other favorite cult movies, like one of my favorite movies of all time. He's Jackie Treehorn in The Big Lebowski.
Oh, okay.
He's in a lot of those movies. He's the perfect heel for movies. I don't think I could ever see him playing a nice guy in a movie.
We don't know how to drive. I know that much.
Yeah. Another thing that cracks me up in this movie, a scene that makes me just chuckle every time I see it is, first off, it seemed like in the 80s, every third or fourth movie, you had to work a monster truck in somehow. Like Police Academy, he gets married and he leaves in Bigfoot, and in this movie, they break out the monster truck and crush a bunch of station wagons. Which it's just a Ford dealership or whatever, and it's all these new cars, and you see the cars they crush, and they look like they're 10 years old. They're like 70s. You know, they didn't put much effort into crushing real cars. They found definitely some old used cars.
Well, they had a
When
certain
you have
budget.
a $15 million budget, you got to be paying attention.
True. But yeah, you just every now and then it's like, oh, there's a monster truck in an 80s movie. Yeah, we had to put that in there. Now, you know, monster trucks are big, but in the 80s, I remember when they came out, that was a big deal.
You can't go wrong with a monster truck.
No, you can't. But yeah, also, I did see that after all the stuff I read up on it, after Patrick Swayze rips his throat out, in real life, Swayze and Marshall Teague were very good friends after the filming was completed. So they ended up being really tight buddies.
Because he's the best friend a good time ever had.
Yeah.
He may be hard to handle, but he's easy to like.
Yeah, I might have to drop. I'm definitely going to have some good sound bites for this podcast. People have already heard them by now, but there's so much good stuff you can, you know. This is one of the more quotable movies you're going to find in the 80s. That's not a comedy. You know, Airplane, stuff like that, you can quote that all. But for a movie that's considered like an action drama, this one is just full of great one-liners.
Yep. There's a great quote that I can use as the sign-off for this podcast. I'm going to save it. It's so good.
Good.
So good.
You'll see me on some editing this week, or I don't have to put a sound drop in.
Oh, you might have to bleep it, but you can.
So
There's no dong in it this week.
Oh, really?
Hey, Greg, how's a guy like you end up on a podcast?
Lucky, I guess. Yeah, I just think, I don't know. In reality, this isn't as far-fetched as you would think, because if you think about it, what Brad Wesley does in this town is what the mafia has done for years, you know, in big cities. You go in and we'll give you protection for this much money, a month and a cut of your sales, or if not, your place might get burned down. Hate to see that happen. You know, it's a lot of truth in this movie. It just was truth delivered with a lot of campiness. So
Yeah, over the top.
Yep.
That time.
Yep. Which, do I bring it up now? The
Do
over the top episode, people, apparently was more loved than we thought, because I found out this week that some of the statistics I'm using for our listenership, I've been missing a large section of it, and when I start pulling them up, we've just had a lot of people surprisingly move from Spotify to Apple Podcasts listen to these podcasts. We still have a good number on Spotify, but a lot more people are listening on Apple Podcasts, which is interesting to me.
I'm not a Spotify consumer, but
Yeah.
I am an Apple podcast. And I think because Apple's been around, they started the podcast, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been around longer doing it than Spotify or any of the other formats. It's probably
Surprisingly, I also
why.
found out that 3% of our podcast listenership comes from Amazon Music, and I just figured to throw that. When I uploaded it to that, I figured, but people listen to it on there.
We love you, 3%.
Yeah, they're like 35% Apple, like 29% Spotify, like another 30-something% YouTube, and then the rest is split between Amazon and a couple other ones, probably iHeartRadio and stuff.
There's no wrong way to listen to the Pixel People pod.
Exactly.
No,
We
the
thank
only
you.
wrong way is not to listen.
Yeah, we thank you for your listenership, because it's growing with every episode. It's kicking butt. You love us. You really love us.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
What cereal was that for?
Isn't it Tricks?
No.
No.
Life.
Tricks. Yeah. Tricks are for kids, Greg.
I wonder if
Come on.
I wonder if we'll bring that up in our cereal podcast coming up in a
I
couple
don't know.
weeks.
Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Will we even talk about Life
I
cereal?
know. Well, I don't know. I hope so. If we don't, though, it'd be a
Missed
travesty.
opportunity.
Yeah. So anyway, that'll do it on this one. I mean, we don't have to see you on this movie because if you haven't seen it by now, you're probably not going to watch it because you have you obviously live a very
Taste.
boring life.
You have no taste.
Yeah, if you've not watched this movie and embraced it as, one of the best pieces of cinema we've ever seen, then there's no hope for you.
True.
But if you are a fan of this movie, this is going to make you go watch it again because,
Yeah.
it's a Mount Rushmore 80s movie. It really is if you think about it. That movie, you've got your Star Wars, all that stuff, but if you was to take like the action genre, Roadhouse would be right up there. People love this movie.
If you broke it down for like action movies of the 80s, comedy movies, sci-fi, this would definitely be on Mount Rushmore of action movies.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll do that sometime, do a Mount Rushmore episode.
Yeah, maybe.
By genre. That's some good topics for future episodes.
Yeah.
So that'll wrap it up on this one. Chris, you got anything to add?
Just some words of wisdom from our man Dalton. Jimmy tells him to prepare to die. Then he says, "You are such an asshole."
Chris, I thought you'd be bigger.
Okay, long duck dong.
All right. Thanks for listening, people. Jan?
Shine on.
The Pixel People Pod. Zap, zap, zap inside. Rewind the future fraud. The Pixel People Pod.
Polar bear fell on me.